Divi 5 was officially released a few months ago, so I thought it was about time that I make a video where I migrate a Divi 4 site to Divi 5. And we'll explore if there are any issues. Spoiler alert, there will be issues, and look into how we can fix them. Before we start the migration process, I thought that it would be a good idea to run a Google PageSpeed Insights test. And first we'll run this on the original Divi 4 site, that's divicrib.com. And then in the end of this video, we will compare these numbers to the migrated version, the Divi 5 version of this site, to see if the page score numbers has improved. So the mobile score here is 76 out of 100. And accessibility is 80. And looking at desktop, we have a 99 on desktop and still the 80 out of 100 on accessibility. And the site that we are going to migrate, some of you might recognize it. It's the Divi Crib. You can find it at divicrib.com. And this was the case site that we were building in my Divi 4 course that's available on YouTube, by the way. And this is a good case to test out the Divi 5 migration tool because it's a very simple, basic site. It doesn't contain any third-party modules. It's just the native Divi modules like the text module, image module, blurb, etc. Custom code, I think there are 2 lines of CSS to make the mobile menu look better, but nothing that should interfere with the migration. Otherwise, there's no custom code on this site. I actually slapped on a couple of plugins just to make the migration more realistic, because there are no WordPress sites out there with 0 plugins. So if we go to the dashboard and plugins, you can see that I have Rank Math for SEO, Wordfence for security, WP Armor for spam protection, and WP Rocket for page speed. Now, if we go to Appearance and Themes and click the Divi theme, we can see that it's Divi version 4.27.7. So that's the latest version of Divi 4. Before you even think about migrating to Divi 5, there are a few things to consider. The first is that you should set up a development environment or a staging site. Never upgrade to Divi 5 on a live site with real users. Now, why is that? Well, several reasons. The first one is that you should never experiment on a live site because that's affecting your real visitors. And if something breaks, your visitors will be affected, and you don't want to do that in public. Another important reason why you shouldn't upgrade to Divi 5 on a live site first is that then you cannot compare the migrated layout, the new migrated version, because you only have one version of the site. So you can't put them side to side and compare them. So in this site, I've created a subdomain at the divi5.divicrib.com, and I've just cloned the original site here. So the migration will take place here on the subdomain, and nothing will be noticed on the live site. Next thing you should do before even starting the migration is to make sure that you have sufficient resources for Divi, so you won't get stuck in middle of migration. And this is an easy one. Just go to the Divi tab and the support center. And on top, you'll see the system status. And for me, it says congratulations. All system checks have passed. Your hosting configuration is compatible with Divi. If you have any like red dots here, you should fix them before starting the migration. So we are good to go to start the migration process to Divi 5. To do that, we'll head over to Divi and Dashboard. And the first step is to enable Divi 5 updates. So this means that we are allowed to update to Divi 5 from the WordPress dashboard. So I'll click this blue button, and it says you have switched to the Divi 5 upgrade path and are now receiving Divi 5 updates. So let's click the check for updates button. And now we can see that we have an update available for Divi from the version 4.27.7 to 5.8.1. So to update to Divi 5, this is the second step in the migration process. We'll just click it and click Update Themes. So Divi was updated successfully. And if I click the WordPress dashboard, and this is where some people might get a bit confused, because I would expect like a banner here telling me that, wow, you updated to Divi 5, here's what to do next. But there's no real wizard here. So I'll head back to Divi and the dashboard. And there's not much information here either. So there's a small box here that tells me to migrate to Divi 5. It says that if this website contains content built with Divi 4, you can use the migrator to convert your website to the Divi 5 format. Unmigrated content will not benefit from the Divi 5 performance improvements. So we're kind of in the middle of the process here, because we have updated to Divi 5, but we have not migrated the content to Divi 5. So we are kind of running two parallel systems here. So to complete the process, I need to click the Migrate this website button. And now we're inside the Divi 5 migrator. And we can see here that everything looks fine. There are no warnings in this list. And we have 18 modules that is ready to be converted to Divi 5. And we can see actually which modules that are used on this site. And to start the migration process, I will click the Migrate this site to Divi 5. Are you sure? The website will convert all Divi 4 modules to the Divi 5 format. And what that means is that all short codes will be removed. And that's a sweeping change that will be made to all Divi content throughout your website. It's important that you back up your website before migrating or test the migration on a staging site. So this was what we were talking about earlier. So I'll click Confirm. Now this may take several minutes. Since this is a pretty small basic site, I would expect this to be a pretty swift experience. And yes, it is. It says, congratulations, you migrated your website to the Divi 5 framework. You can return to this page anytime to run a new compatibility check to see if additional modules are ready for conversion. And this is strange. In the future, third-party modules from the Divi marketplace may be updated to support Divi 5. At this point, you can convert them using the migrator. Most third-party modules will not be ready for conversion at this early stage. So I guess they forgot to update this from probably the alpha or beta phase, because most serious third-party module developers have already converted their modules to Divi 5. Anyway, before we check this in frontend and compare, I would recommend you to do three things. Because we have a caching plugin, we should go to that, regardless if you use Lightspeed Cache or WRocket or anything, and clear and preload all cache. Yeah, the WP-Rocket cache is cleared. You can also go to the Divi theme options. Now you can see that this looks a bit different after updating to Divi 5. And we can click the Clear CSS Cache button. Good. And the last one would be go to Settings and Permalinks and just hit the Save Changes button. So this will refresh the htaccess file. And these three actions will actually fix a lot of design issues in WordPress and Divi in general. So let's reveal the front end and compare the original Divi 4 site. And that's the divicrib.com on the left side with the new migrated version to the right, which is a Divi 5 site. And I will put up two labels here, so we won't mix them up. So I'll simply refresh the Divi 5 migrated site. Now we can compare them. And at the first glance, everything looks the same. You can scroll down here. We have the hover effects, no problem there. We have this button here. Oh, wait a minute. The button hover effect is gone on the new site. So that's the first difference that I notice. Let's go down here to the slider. Yeah, seems to work the same here. We have the blog grid. Oh, there's another issue. So on the original Divi4 site, we had a grid with 3 columns, but here's the blog module has been full with design. Also notice a small discrepancy here. The text is read more on the Divi4 site. There are 3 dots here, read more ... on the Divi5 site. I could live with that, but it's a difference. Let's see this call to action area. It looks the same, but we still have this hover icon issue on the Divi5 site. We have the clients with this hover effect. That works the same here. And then we have the footer with a dynamic year, and it looks about the same, I think. So before we jump into the other pages, maybe we should dive into the home page and see if we can fix this. And here we are in WordPress logged in mode. And, you should always test things being logged out, like incognito mode that I'm in the other browser here, because stuff can look different when you're logged into WordPress, but your visitors, your real visitors, will of course see your website logged out. But we can see that we have the same issues here with the blog grid not being a grid, and we also lost the button hover effect. So I'll click edit with Divi, and now you can see the new snappy quick Divi5 interface, and this is really nice. And here in backend we can actually see the icons, but they are slightly off. So let's go to the settings here, button, design. We have the button option group, icon, we have show button icon, that's on, that's good. But there seems to be no icon selected. So if I choose this one, will that make a difference? Let's check it out. I'll save. And let's head back to frontend. And I'll make a hard refresh. Yeah, there it is. A slightly different animation though. You can see here that it goes from left to right, but here it's just like fades in. Not sure why that is. So that's also a difference. Okay, let's head back. Maybe we'll try with another button here, the About Us preset, the golden button preset, design, button, icon, and let's select the correct icon and click Save Preset and yes. So let's see if we can fix all buttons just by editing the preset. I'll hit refresh. We have that one. This is not the golden button, so I'm not surprised that's not affected. But we have this icon here. Ah, yeah. So we can go to, if we use presets in Divi4, we can update these element presets that they are called in Divi5 to fix all buttons if we have this kind of issues. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised that this animation is different in Divi4 and Divi5. I think it looks a bit better in Divi4 actually, so this might be a bug. Might be something that they will fix later. Okay, and then we have the other thing, slightly bigger issue, if we compare the blog list here, which is the blog module showing the latest 3 news or posts. So here we have a nice grid, and here we have an ugly list. So I'll head back to WordPress, and here we have it. We go to the perhaps design tab and the layout tab. Layout is set to block, and it was set to block in Divi4 also, because block was the only existing mode in Divi4. But now in Divi5 we have grid and flex. So let's try to set this to grid. And yes, something happened. we got the old design back. But I'm surprised that the migration tool didn't recognize that I've chosen the grid layout for the blog module in Divi 4. It should automatically set it to grid in Divi 5 as well. I mean, I guess that at least half of all Divi sites in the world are using this blog module. So this is a basic thing. Not to talk about the buttons. I guess that 100% of all Divi websites are using buttons. So they should really put some effort into this. I'll save it and now go back to frontend and let's refresh and see that if that worked. Yeah, it did. Nice. So, okay, I see another issue here. So in Divi 4, if I hover a single blog post, that one is highlighted with my hover effect. But if I hover a single blog post here in Divi 5, the entire module, all 3 posts are affected by the hover effects. So that's also not what I wanted. Yeah, I guess you could fix that by going into the design settings somehow, maybe. But let's not get too deep into the details. We have a few more pages to explore. So I'll go to the About Us page. I'll do the same in the original site here. And it looks more or less the same here, I think. The hero, have the counters, have this text here, yeah. And now the button works because we changed the presets, and there we have some blurbs. Okay, here we have another discrepancy. We are missing the blurb icons here. So on the home page we had blurbs. Let's go back there. But these blurbs are using images as icons, so that works. But these blurbs are missing their icons that are on the icon library in Divi. So let's see if we can fix that. I'll head back to WordPress. And now I'm happy that I didn't do this on the live site, because my site would have looked bad for my visitors for the time that we are fixing this. So always a good thing to do things in a test site. Okay, I'm exit here and I'll go to About Us. And yeah, we see the same issue here. The blurb icons are missing. So I'm going into blurb here, to the design tab, and image and icon. And we can see that we have an image and icon to the left with this golden color. If I go to content, image and icon, use an icon is on, and this one is blue, hinting that it's selected or changed, but it doesn't seem that any icon is selected actually, so that seems to be false. So let's search for check mark, and there we have the one that is used. So I click that one, and now we have our icon back. Okay, so instead of doing this for each and every one of these blurbs, I should be able to extend this, I think. So let's try that. Let's right click here, and we can say extend attributes. And I don't want to extend all blurb attributes, because that will extend the text as well, the content. And it's not design, because the icon is located under content. So let's see here, extend blurb content attributes. Now I want to select, yeah, I want to extend this specific content attribute, which is the image icon attributes. Could that be the one? Let's try that, extend image icon attributes. And I want to do that from this blurb. Not the entire page, but this section that contains all these blurbs. And the option group, image icon. Not sure if I'm in the right place now, because that could be this one. But let's try it. and I want to extend it to the icon field. Extend attributes. No, didn't work. Let's try another approach. I will click the buttons or the dots here, or right click, and I'll choose copy attributes. Now I will do the same here. I will choose paste attributes, and I will paste, let's see, content attributes and image icon attribute. That works. The exact same thing. So I guess we found another bug here in Divi 5. And I'll do the same here. Paste attributes, paste image icon attributes. Yeah, you get the point. So I can do this for all the modules. I'll save and I'll head back to frontend, and let's refresh the Divi 5 site. Yeah, now we can see that the icons are back, but I have to manually put them back there. So that's also an annoying thing. I think the blurb with the icons is a very common module or a very common use case in Divi. So this should absolutely be working for a product that's not in alpha or beta anymore. Yeah, we keep on scrolling. The contact cards here, yeah, looks nice. I think they are the same here. You can see really just maybe a little difference here in the line breaks, but that could be an issue because of my double window here. And we have the logos again, and we have the footer, so everything looks good. Okay, we go to the news page, and here we actually have the full width blog from the start in Divi 5, so that looks nice. And it's the same here. Let's see if we scroll down here. Yeah, looks the same. So this was migrated pretty well. Let's see here the theme builder template for a blog post. So here we have a single blog post with a template in the Divi theme builder, and it looks almost the same, but I think this font is actually a bit bigger than this font. This is uppercase and this is not the uppercase. So that was the difference. So for some reason the migration made this publish date in all caps. So there we have another problem. Now that's just, I guess, going to the theme builder, and we have the post template. There we can see the all caps and design. Okay, let's see if it's a heading text actually. Oh, maybe it's a heading 4. Yeah, it is, and that's uppercase. So we get rid of that, and I'll save it, exit. And let's go back and try it out in frontend. Yeah, now it looks the same here. Okay, let's scroll down. We have the sidebar, we have the content, we have the related content, and it seems like this is a general bug in the Divi 5 migrator, that if you had a blog grid, it will be transformed into this full width blog post list. Okay, otherwise it looks good. So let's go to the contact us page. Yeah, looks the same here in the top, and we have the contact form actually looks the same as well. We can see here that I had a little envelope icon on the original site, but on the Divi 5 site it changed into arrow. So that's something that didn't migrate as it should. And we can actually see a few differences here. Yeah, and we go down here, we have the FAQ. Looks good. We have the embedded map with the hover effect. Yeah, looks nice. And we also have the reCAPTCHA here working on both sides. That's it for desktop. And now let's have a quick look in mobile as well. So let's go back and see how the responsive design works. So I'll inspect this. I will preview it in like an iPhone 12 Pro. And I'll do the same thing here for the Divi 5 version. Oops, that doesn't look good at all. So the H1, the heading 1 in the homepage hero area is very, very big on mobile. Let's see here, it's actually 110 pixels. And on the original Divi 4 site, see where we have it there, it's 48 pixels. So it's more than twice as big. Doesn't look good at all. So let's fix that. I'll head back to Divi 5 and we'll go to the home page. And I'll click Edit with Divi. And the new responsive design settings. Let's see it here. No, where did it go? I'm still a bit. Yeah, we can go here. Yeah, so there we go. We have the tablet and we have the mobile. So I'll click here to edit the responsive design. So now, and this is a big difference from Divi 4. Now when we have this phone view, all the changes you will do, even the text changes here, if you would change the heading, that will only apply to mobile. So that was not the case in Divi 4. So I'll go to the design tab and I'll go to heading text and we have the H1. Let's see, the heading text H1 size should be 35 pixels, but it was 110. So that's a bit strange. So let me bump that up to 36. Oh, then it worked. And if I go down to 35 again, it's correct, it sticks. So that's strange, and actually something that I noticed in Divi 5 before, that it could say a value in gray, but you have to do like up, down, to make it actually be that value. Okay, so I'll save this page, and I'll head back to frontend. Let's see if this is correct. I'll refresh. Yeah, it's the correct size, I think. So this is 35. This is, let's see, 48. So there was still something wrong there in the settings. So 48 is what it should be. So let's go back again. So I'll refresh again. And now it looks more like it. Let's make a little test here. 48, 48. Okay. But you would think that the headings would actually keep their size when you migrate. This could be a really bad issue if this happens to all the pages. Okay, so let's scroll down here. Looks the same, these blurbs, looking good. And this one looks the same, I think. Yeah, it does. We have the slider. It doesn't look the same. This text is italic, but this is not in the same way at least. And this one has a bigger gap here, or a bigger padding. So that would be something that I had to go into and change the settings in the slider module. The blog grid. Oh, okay, I see what happened here. So we changed this to grid on desktop, but this will be inherited in Divi 5 also to mobile. So we have to change that, because that happened automatically in Divi 4, that it was responsive with just one column. But you have to do that manually in Divi 5, which is a good thing because then you can decide how many columns you actually want to have in mobile. But in this case, it didn't look good at all. So let's fix it. I'll switch to the phone view. And here we see the problem. And now we are in the text module. So I'll click the blog module, and yeah, we have the layout, and it's grid, and I cannot change that to block. That would be nice. If I just wanted one column, that would be an alternative, but I could change the number of columns from 3 to 1. And I'll have to hit enter. And now we have the desired look here. So I'll exit and save. And we'll preview it in frontend. So let's refresh the correct one, the Divi 5 one. And there we go, we have the one column. And it looks the same, except for the 3 little dots here. So I scroll down and I have my call to action area here. And it looks good. We have the client list, it looks good. And in Divi 5, I would probably change this to maybe 2 logos, 2 columns on mobile. I couldn't do that without custom code in Divi 4. But in Divi 5, it's super easy. So that would be something that I would do now. But now we're just checking the migrator, and it did its job. We have the image and we have the footer here. Let's see if the footer is the same. Yeah, it's center aligned. We have the shortcuts. I can see that it's a slightly smaller spacing here between the social media and the heading. There and there. So we have some small differences here, but nothing too big. And we have the correct layout here. Yeah, and let's not forget about the mobile menu. So it looks good here. So if I click that one, this is the custom CSS that I mentioned before. I've changed the close icon to a close icon instead of the original hamburger icon. And I also made the menu full width. And you'll see the same behavior here on Divi 5. So that worked fine, the old CSS. And I'll put a link to a tutorial how you can do this little improvement of the Divi menu module for mobile. Works also in Divi 5. Yeah, so I think that was all. We could go through the other pages as well on mobile, but I think you get the concept now. So my verdict is that I would not convert a big site like victorduse.com, my own site, to Divi 5 yet. I still run on Divi 4 because if these kinds of issues happens on a very basic site without third-party modules, without customizations with the custom codes and scripts, I don't want to know what happens on a big complex site. And the issues happens to common modules like buttons, headings, blurbs. These are easily top 5 most used modules in Divi. So I guess they have prioritized and focused most of their energy on these modules. So maybe some of the least used modules will have even more issues. So I really hope that they focus on this, fixing the button bugs, the migration bugs, and make Divi 5 really solid, because it's an awesome experience. I really like the editor. I really like the speed and the snappiness of it, and all the flexbox grid options opens up lots of possibilities. And of course, the new modules and the new features are really promising. But this is the basics. The conversion or the migration must work, and the basic modules must work flawless. Okay, so I promised you the cliffhanger that we would test the page speed score before and after. So the main win with Divi 5 is not front-end speed, it's the back-end speed when you're working in the editor. And of course, it's future safe with the new code base and the technology, not using shortcodes anymore. But there should also be a slight increase in frontend because the code is cleaner now. So let's try out if that's the case. So I'll head back here to my Google PageSpeed Insights test. And we really had some good scores here, and that's because we are using WP Rocket. We have 76 on mobile, that's okay, not great, but okay. And then we have a really good score on desktop. So I'll try and analyze the Divi 5 version of the exact same site. And I should mention with the WP Rocket that it's a very basic optimization. I don't even have a minify CSS or minify JavaScript enabled. I only have caching enabled because this is something that all decent websites are using to make it more realistic. Okay, we have the result here. So we have 77. That's a 1%, 1 point of improvement. And I would say that that is in the margin of error, because if I make a new test, it could be 1 or 2 or 3 points up and down. So it has actually the same mobile performance as before. And I'm a bit surprised that the accessibility actually went down with Divi 5. Let's go down here to accessibility just to make it quick. I know this video is not about accessibility, but just see what the difference is. Okay, so some image element does not have alt text. This is not the case in the original page, so the migration has removed some alt attributes. So it's for the logo in the menu, it's for the blurbs. Oh, it's basically all the alt texts are removed. Okay, so that's actually a really bad bug in the migrator. You should really keep the alt texts intact. That's basic accessibility. This makes me a bit annoyed actually. So yeah, if you're watching this, Elegant Themes, just fix it, please. Okay, we have some other issues here with accessibility. It's just 2 issues, but the alt text missing, I think it's causing this dramatic drop in score. Links do not have a discernible name. That's the logo there. Okay, so it's a link in the logo in the menu, and that should have an alt text, so that's connected to the one above. And okay, yeah, we have best practices below. I didn't see that. So user scalability, no. Yeah, that's a strange thing that they haven't fixed during the years. You should be able to pinch and zoom on mobile, but you have to add custom code or a third-party plugin in Divi to do that, and that is the same as in Divi 4, in Divi 5, so not fixed yet, but maybe someday. Let's see, touch targets does not have sufficient size or spacing. That's my design. That's has a flaw, nothing to do with Divi or Divi 5. A document does not have a main landmark. Okay, yeah, so this is about semantic HTML. And now with Divi 5, we can add HTML and attributes in the Divi builder. So this is easy to fix, to set the main landmark on the body template in the Divi theme builder. I'm not going to show that in this video, maybe another video, but I'm a bit surprised that it doesn't add main landmark to the body by default if it doesn't have any landmark, but well, you can fix it easily in a couple of minutes in Divi 5. Yeah, and we have some contrast. That's also my design, so the blame is on me, not on Divi. The navigation, the heading elements are not in sequentially descending order. Okay, that's also on me. I have used headings in the wrong order, using headings for design rather than navigation, so that's also to blame on me, not on Divi, so that could be fixed easily in the Divi builder. So I guess the big difference here is actually the alt texts. Okay, so that was the mobile score. We have a drop in accessibility, but if I would go there and fix all the alt texts, which would take a tremendous amount of time if it was a big site, would probably go back to 80 again, the same thing here, and then I can go back to Divi 5 and do some other stuff that will fix the other accessibility issues. So let's head over to desktop. We had 99. Now we're actually down to 96. But I will also say that that's like in the fail margin, or what is called in English, error margin, that this could go up and down a few points when you test it. And we have the same accessibility issues, best practices is the same. And actually, for some reason, the SEO was better in Divi 4. Let's see what's that about. Okay. So we have Rank Math SEO installed on both sites, but perhaps Rank Math isn't fully compatible with Divi 5 yet, because it says now that document does not have a meta description, but this is not an issue on the original site. Links do not have a descriptive text. Or the read more links, okay, the read more links, yeah, that's not good accessibility. And that's the same issue here, I guess. And then we're also missing the alt attributes. Yeah, so that was what we were looking at the accessibility score. It's also a factor for SEO. So yeah, final verdict. I wouldn't migrate to Divi 5 on an existing site yet. Elegant Themes have said that they will support Divi 4 for at least a year. So I will wait for a few months more and try again and see if they have fixed all these issues before I do the migration. However, if I would build a new site, I would use Divi 5 because I think it's stable enough and it's so much better experience to work with. But migrating, no, I will wait. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video, and please let me know in the comments below what you think about the Divi 5 migration process. Have you tried it out yourself, and what was the result? Are you happy with it, or do you think there's room for improvement? Until next time, take care.